I'm going to do a brief introduction. Peace, 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 my loves. Welcome in. You are here at the All Things Self Mastery channel here on YouTube. Welcome in. As you come in, make sure you hit a like. Make sure you comment. Say hey, love, hey. Let me know that you are here. And all for my TikTok family, if you want to see the presentation, because I actually have a presentation. Some of you know that I actually bring up slides, and so we can discuss, so you can visually have downloads and receive as well, because it just enhances and enforces what you're learning. So those of you who want to actually see the presentation, we're going to be talking about emotions and addictions and emotions, and how they correlate, and how many of us are affected, but we don't really understand. And so if you want to hop on over to YT at All Things Self Mastery, you will see it. Once you come in, make sure you let me know that you are here. Okay, so let's get started. Emotions. When we hear about emotions, we hear what? We hear anger. We hear you're too emotional. You're not emotionless, right? Men are less emotional. Women are more emotional. We hear about, love. We hear about bitterness. We hear about all of these different things. We hear about joy. We hear about bliss, right? We hear it, and not to say that any of those attributes and those feelings aren't relevant, aren't correct, right? But they are very surface level. They're very surface level, right? So we're going to be getting into what are emotions, right? Shauna, how are you, my love? Yes, I would like to see the presentation. Shauna, hop on over to my YT channel. It's All Things Self Mastery. You can get to it by going over there. It'll come up. Let me know. Put in a comment, say hey, love, hey, when you join, so I can see that you're over here. Or you can click the link in my bio, and there's a tab that will shoot you right on over to my YouTube channel. You're more than welcome, right? And so we need to have a better understanding of what emotions is, and not just speak about the surface level, right? Because emotions govern our behaviors. And so if you don't know the fundamentals of emotions, chemicals, neurotransmitters, as it relates to your behaviors, what you're going to find yourself doing is continually running on that perpetual cycle of that hamster wheel. Many of us don't know why we escalate, why we de-escalate, why we ping pong it, why our emotions are ping ponging. 1 minute we happy, 1 minute we sad, 1 minute we're happy, 1 minute we're sad, 1 minute we're up, 1 minute we're down. That is a very unnatural state to be in, right? And it shows a dysregulation of your personal energy and motion, which this is what emotions are, the energy and motion. So we're gonna get into it. Breaking emotionals. Hi, Jace, how are you? New sub, Ashe. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're a part of All Things Self Mastery. You listen. You're not here by luck. You are not here by luck and by happenstance, which there are no such thing, right? And so, if you are present right now, I encourage you to stick with it, right? Because the fact that you are here means that you and I are aligned. And I know for sure, in all confidence, I know I'm on a higher level. I know 80% of my being, of my essence, of my time, because of my self mastery practices and application. I know that I'm in alignment. And this is what I come before you and teach you all the time, all things self mastery, which is important. So if you thank you so much, Lotus. You know, I always love you. Marvin, how are you, my love? So, if you are here, it is by divine design, and you are absolutely purposed to elevate and to expand. And one of those things, when we're speaking about emotions, when we're speaking about depression, when we're speaking about contempt, when we're speaking about pessimism, when we're speaking about brokenness and loneliness and anger and pain and resentment, all of these different things, right, affects us all. And a lot of us are so addicted to our emotions, unbeknownst to us, right? And it does not matter how much you actually know, because it's going to affect you in more ways than one. Not only you, it's going to affect your loved ones, right? And so at the end of the presentation, I'm going to get into some ways how you can actually break some of those cords. So for those of you who are new to me, Jace, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. I'm a self mastery mentor. I have been teaching for 15 plus years. I am an entrepreneur. I'm also a veteran. I served 5 years in the military and did a 12-month tour in Afghanistan. So when it comes to external experience, I have a lot of that, right? I have a degree in business management, a minor in psychology, but I'm also a self-educated woman, right? I'm a student of life forever. I love reading. I love educating myself. I am a true student of life, and I study many of things from psychology to chemistry, to astrology, astronomy, right? Quantum physics, metaphysics, energy, and all of those different things. Why? Because I first had to understand why I was so full of contempt. I had to understand why my life was doing this ping pong thing. I had to understand why I was so heavily depressed. I had to understand why I wanted to commit suicide. I had to understand what was going on with me internally. I had to understand all of these things. And I've always been a very inquisitive mind where I need to know the core of the core, right? Because when you think about life, when you think about our essence, it is infinite. There's infinite levels within infinite levels. There are infinite levels within infinite levels and cycles. So when you think about that, you start to wonder when you really have hit what some people call rock bottom, which in most cases, a lot of us need to experience a horrific thing in our life in order for us to really take our life serious. Mwah, peace, bro. How are you, fam? Mind your mental. How are you, my love? And so and a psychological aspect of it is in psychology they'll tell you most individuals who hit their rock bottom, that's when you make a life altering decision as to, hey, I don't want to feel like this no more. I don't want to go through. I'm tired of being in pain. So when I tell you that I understand how it feels, how it looks, how it smells, how it tastes to be in the depths of a blackness, a darkness, a hole to where there's so much weight on you mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. Mwah, thank you so much, bro. Um, all of these different things, I know how it feels to not count all of the many blessings and the silver lining. I know how it feels and how it looks to be in such a dark place where you don't see the flashlight, you don't see help, you don't see no saving. And the only way out in that dark place is by you committing to prematurely transition. So understand that I know how that feels. I know how it feels to be addicted to certain narcotics. I know how it feels to be addicted to sex. I know how it is to be addicted to social media. I know how it is to be addicted to toxicity. I know how it is to be addicted to be living and being in this victim mentality. I know how it is to be all of those things. So who do I teach? I teach men and women who want to better understand the core why as to why they do the things they do. Why do they feel the things that they feel beyond the surface level things that we've been taught and we've been conditioned and programmed to think and to believe and to know? I needed to get to the core myself. And even though I didn't understand why I was raped several times, why I was molested several times, why I refused to grow several times, why I was abandoned, why I had mistrust, why I didn't have proper and healthy guidance in my life. Why did I turn to exotic dancing? Why did I turn to certain drugs? Why did I turn to all of these different addictions? I know now that I needed to experience those things. I needed to taste of those things and all the variations of the flavors, whether it was sweet, whether it was bitter, whether it was disgusting, whether it was pleasurable. I needed to experience those things because one of my divine purposes is to show others that, hey, you're not alone. And I think this is my superpower in being relatable. Peace, Bleak. What's good, bro? I'm at work enjoying lunch and dinner. How are you, love? Right? So I understand how it tastes, how it feels, how it looks. And not only that, I had to learn. It took me years upon years, and I'm still learning what self mastery is. I'm still practicing self mastery. It's not some self mastery is not about getting something and it's like, oh, I'm good. No, you have to continually work the muscle if you want it to be powerful. You don't get to keep what you don't cultivate. And so many of us are just cultivating the physical aspect of who we are, and we're not cultivating the spiritual aspect, the soulful aspect of who we are, which is why many of us are weak minded, weak willed, and so conditioned. And we don't even know the destruction that we causing on ourselves. Every time you speak and you don't understand what you're talking about, you don't understand the frequency and the language of the emotions you're emitting, the energy and motions, the neurotransmitters. You don't understand how you're destroying yourself, my loves. And this is what I come to remind you of. Every decision you make, every thought you think, everything that you speak is going to determine whether you continually self destruct or you continually learn how to master self, master your reality, and stop being tricked and stop being so easily swayed and stop being so addicted to the unhealthy things that you're addicted to. Ashe? So, this is what we're talking about. Understanding the core emotions, the core of emotions. How many of you knew that emotions are energy in motion? How many of you knew that emotions are not only energy in motion, but they are neurotransmitters? They are signals in your brain. How many of you understand what is going on? How many of you understand that they are chemicals? How many of you understand that many of us are suffering from chemical imbalances? Many of us are experiencing physical disease in our body because our chemicals are unbalanced, imbalanced, and out of whack. Our natural circadian rhythm is completely off. Ashe, how unresolved past traumas become addictions. Many of us right now have a very, very unhealthy addiction to social media. And if you only knew how it was destroying your brain cells. Now there are a lot of benefits. There are many benefits to social media, many, but there are also many dangers if you do not understand, if you do not have awareness, if you do not have intelligence, wisdom, information, and if you do not have discipline. Right? This is new to me. Thoughts and words will create your world and people connected to you. Facts, spirit angel. They're chemicals. Many of you've heard, we're going to get into it later. Emotions, chemicals, how they affect you, how they affect what you desire, how they affect what you attract, how unhealed emotions keep you reliving your past. And then we're on this healing journey. A lot of us, I'm healing. If you enter, and I teach, this is another master lesson for another day. Understanding language syntax is going to really help you out. Understand the words that you're using, because the energetic implication of them is affecting you. When you're constantly saying, I'm healing, everybody is healing, I'm healing, what do you think that's energetically applying to the universe, which gives you exactly according to the vibration that you're on, according to your wishes and your desires, whether you know you're sending them out to the universe or not? What do you think that implies? Every time you say, I'm healing, remember, what you feed gains power and what you starve loses its power. What do you think you're energetically applying when you keep, I'm healing, I'm healing? It implies that you're sick. It implies that you're unhealthy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, as much as you want to heal, as much as you want to be healed, as much as you want to face certain fears and certain scarcities, as much as you want to grow, your thoughts, your signals, your neurotransmitters is in contradicting of the frequency that you're emitting. So, of course, you're not going to attract healing or healed people in your life. Of course, you're not going to. You have to understand this is what self mastery is all about. And this is what I teach. So it can remind you to pay attention. Pay attention, because where your attention goes, your energy grows. And whatever you are feeding is being magnified. And whatever is being magnified, you're pulling towards you. Why do you think some of y'all are so addicted and craves and receive such unhealthy adrenaline spikes when you're engaging in such unhealthy conversations? Okay. So what are the core emotions? What are core emotions? How do we interpret it? Right? Emotions are electrical charges. Understand that emotions are electrical charges. Before I continue, if you want to see the presentation, which I absolutely recommend you to, jump on over to my YT channel at All Things Self Mastery. It absolutely is going to be beneficial for you to see the presentation. If not, no pressure. The core of emotions, what are they? Emotions, energy, emotions are electrical charges, your thoughts. They're neurotransmitters, they're signals. So whenever you are responding or reacting to one of these neurological transmitters, you're not only sending signals to what you want to get back. Your heart is amplifying whatever signal in the frequency, and that is what's drawing things to you. This is when I have another masterclass that teaches you about brain and heart coherence. A lot of us have brain and heart incoherence, which is why we're not attracting the things that we actually want, because you don't understand your dominant database. Whatever is strongest in your dominant database, that's what you're going to pull to you. The only way you can attract and manifest people, places, and things that you want, no matter what it is that you understand what brain and heart coherence is. It have to be aligned. And then you have to understand how to cultivate it. Genesis, how are you, my love? Peace, peace, peace. So, the core of emotions, understanding is the key. Understanding, understanding, right? Overstanding. The core of emotions are electrical charges, your thoughts, which are neurotransmitters. They are formed and are captured into memories, 90% of which are based upon your past experiences. All 90% of whatever you're feeling presently are all based upon what you've experienced in your past, right? And the more you fed whatever emotion it was, whether it was content, whether it was hatred, whether it was love, whether it was joy, whether it was bliss, no matter what the feeling of it was, right? Your body is now on autopilot. So your body now craves certain things. Now we're going to get into the addiction. Neurotransmitters are chemical messages that your body cannot function without. So when we hear, right, foolish things like women are more emotional than men, or men are, that's not accurate. If you are an infinite being, you are emotional. There is no such thing as one person is more emotional than the next. In a sense, in a context of what I'm speaking. If you are a being, human being, what some of us will say, baby, you are emotional. You are emotional. It's about when I hear people that say that, not only do I know they don't understand what emotions really are, the core of emotions, I also understand that they have not a clue that what they're really saying is that there are more people. There are not more people, I retract. There are certain people who understand how to regulate their emotions and those who do not know how to regulate their emotions. That's what we're simply saying. Like we tell on ourselves all the time, Lotus. We tell on ourselves all the time. Hey, big head. That's yeah, that's cute. We are what we experience to some extent, to a great extent, love. We are what we experience, right? And this is why you have to learn the principles and practices of self mastery, because until you do, you're going to keep running on that hamster wheel, that perpetual cycle of going nowhere real fast. Just because you sweating a little bit, baby, you can run backwards and sweat. You can run backwards and be sweating. You're not moving forward. We're not paying attention. We're not paying attention to the distractions. We're not taking, we're paying attention to more things that are so harmful to us than we are not. And it's always the deeper question is, do you really want to heal? Do you really want to be healed? Do you really want to grow? Do you really want the things that you're actually saying you want? Do you actually want to forge healthy relationships? Do you actually want to attract and manifest better opportunities, not only for you and your family? Do you actually want more peace, more harmony? Do you actually want to travel if that's what it is? Do you actually want to not keep being mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, energetically enslaved? Do you or don't you? Do you or don't you? Because all of this right here, baby, that ain't serving you the purpose. That ain't serving you what you think it's serving. It's not. Just look at the state of us today. I'm not talking about the world. Look at the state of us today, of men and women. Look at the state of us today, men and women. Just look at it. The reality. Your reality isn't lying. The receipts of your reality isn't lying. What are you doing within the time that you are breathing? What are you doing from the time that you rise and from the time that you rise to the time that you rest? What are you doing? Emotions are energy in motion, right? Everything is energy, everything is frequency. And if you go a little, if you understand and study a little bit deeper, energy in motion is also chemicals. Everything you do, every emotion that you feel has a chemical attached to it. And there are six predominant, this is in my way. There are six dominant major brain chemicals that regulate your emotions. And some of these you heard of, but we don't quite understand what they are. Four of them are happy chemicals, and two of them are fight or flight chemicals, which is kind of the danger zone, right? Let's take a before I get into the chemicals, make sure you're tapping the screen. Okay. That's the only thing I require. Tap, 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 right? Because it helps the algorithm do what it do. It helps to let TikTok understand that this is a healthy live stream. So the only thing I ask is that you just tap the screen, show your love and appreciation that way. You do not have to gift. You do not have to do any of that. The only thing I ask as reciprocation, because it's all about the principles, right? Cause and effect, give and receive, right? When you understand this principle, okay, it works on like autopilot. So I appreciate all of you for doing that. If you're in over here on my YT channel, I ask that you do the same. Whatever it's a like or it's a comment, okay, participate, because that helps me in many ways, right? I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Big Head. So the six major chemicals, dopamine is one. Dopamine is one. It's a chemical, energy in motion, right? It's a chemical. When dopamine is released, right? This chemical is based on a reward system. This is what sparks our brains up fired up, when we're experiencing feelings of pleasure, right? When we're eating chocolate or indulging in ice cream, or like mainly chocolate, right? When we're indulging in actual pleasures, put an S right there. That's the actual pleasures, sensual pleasures, right? This is when dopamine is released, but it also can be released when you're doing certain things that are toxic. Overindulgence of anything, and overindulgence of any production, even the chemical production in our bodies, overstimulation can also be harmful for you. So yes, it is a reward chemical, but it can also be very dangerous if you are not regulating it, right? It can be extremely dangerous, and this is why many of us have an unknowing addiction to social media. To social media, okay? Because whenever we receive a like or a heart or a comment, it's like, ooh, it's a reward system. Ooh, it's a reward system. I need that because of our need to be accepted, right? And we're not paying attention to what and who we want to be accepted within, even though it is a natural human being, right? Infinite being response. Everything and anything should be harmonized. Yes, there is duality and there's polarity. There are energies that work better for each other, and there are also energies that can do both, work for each other and against each other, or against itself or for itself in the same sense. This is why I teach on universal principles and laws. This is why I teach on hermetic metaphysical principles and laws, because these are the things that you need to understand. Serotonin. When serotonin is released, this is the chemical that influences your mood, promoting feelings of well being and happiness, right? However, you also have to pay attention to what is bringing you happiness, what is bringing you joy. Because I tell you what, there are some people who we all are familiar with, whether on throughout these social media streets, by association through social media, or in our lives, or have ran across these individuals who take pleasure, who receive serotonin hits whenever they are shaming someone else, whenever they are dragging someone else or crucifying someone else. Beware and be mindful of these people receiving and displaying how pleasurable it is to emasculate a man, or defeminize a woman, or shame. I say it again. You can teach and educate without shaming, without crucifying. You can even righteously judge a person's behaviors and action without shaming them, without crucifying them. And some of your favorite content creators, they do this. And you are no better because you stand with them. You agree with them. You're harmonizing with them. You're joining in with them. And let me tell you something, them consequences going to hit your behind sooner or later. Sooner or later. And then, like we see it happen all the time. Now you want to cry somebody a river. Now you want to complain about the poison you have to now consume. Don't cry about it now. Okay, keep that same energy when it's time for you to drink of the cup that you done poured for other people. Keep that same energy. Keep that same joy and bliss and satisfaction you gave from crucifying other men and women. Keep that same energy that you had when you were unjustly judging other people. Keep that same energy when you found bliss and joy in your willful ignorance. Keep that same energy, okay? No one is excluded from getting the smoke. We all have free will and a choice between being taught with love or turmoil. Ashe, right? We this is about understanding. Oxytocin. This neurotransmitter, this chemical is our love hormone, right? It's our love hormone, which a lot of us is missing, honey. Oh, we got little droplets of it, right? Thinking love, speaking love, being divine love, three different things. I say that often. Thinking something, speaking something, and being something is completely different. Completely different. And that's another reason of the vast amount of reasons why we're not attracting the people, places, and things, opportunities that we actually want, right? Because we've been taught to chase, chase, chase. We've been taught to slave, slave, slave. We've been taught to keep running, to keep running, to keep running, to keep running and working, working, working. We're working the wrong things. When I'm going to share something with you. When you start to understand what self mastery is, when you start to understand the things that I'm teaching you, you will understand that you don't have to do much to attract anything or anyone in your life. You just have to be, you just have to vibrate on a certain frequency. If it's divine love, you just have to operate, vibe on that, learn how to cultivate it. And it's going to just naturally come to you. You are an infinite magnet. You are magnetism. Do you think magnets have to work hard to attract other magnets? Do you see magnets huffing and puffing and slaving to attract other magnets? Do you see that? Anybody, I'm sure all of us have played with magnets at some point or another, right? Some point or another. We've all played with magnets. Do you think these magnets have a tough time attracting each other? Do you? Do you? If you want, if you want wisdom, learn how to vibrate on wisdom. If you want romantic love, vibrate on romantic love. You don't have to chase anything. Everything is energy and everything is frequency. You simply have to become, vibrate on it. You don't have to slave for it. You are a magnet. Anything that you want, and you're already vibrating. So if you are attracting certain people, places, and things, the question you need to ask yourself, okay, is why am I attracting hate? Why am I attracting disgust? I'm talking about in an abundance, not just casually, because that's gonna you're gonna attract all things from time to time. But if you want respect, vibrate on respect. If you want integrity, if you want people to come into your life and have integrity for yourself. If you want have confidence for yourself, become everything. Vibrate on everything for yourself that you desire, and it's automatically going to come to you. You don't have to chase anything, because remember in the beginning what I told you about chasing, and I said this before for those of you who are familiar with me. What you chase, you repel. Remember when I gave the analogy of us saying, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing. The energetic implication is that when you say I'm healing, I'm here, it's implying energetically that, hey, I'm still sick. Hey, there's still something going on with me. Hey, I'm not healthy. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing with what you chase. Chasing something or someone implies energetically that they're getting away from you. Don't chase, attract. And the only way you can do that is by strengthening your magnetism on whatever that is. You are always attracting, you are always manifesting, and in abundance. It's just that many of us are attracting and manifesting in the abundance of things that we don't want to attract, and less of the things and people that we actually want to, because you don't vibrate on that frequency. You get what you give. You get what you give. You get what you live, right? And so that's important. Endorphins are the chemicals, the transmitters that are released when your body feels pain or stress, which is very natural. Endorphins are very natural. It's a natural occurrence when your body feels like it is pain or it is stress. But also understand, again, you are not just this physical avatar. Physical things are attached to the physical aspect of who you are, but you are not just one dimensional. You are three dimensional. You are triune. You are part mental, part soul, spirit, and part physical. You are all three of these things, and all three of them need to be cultivated. You get what you live. Ashe. Right? Adrenaline. This neurotransmitter is responsible for your body's fight or flight response. Whenever you're feeling threatened, a lot of y'all being chased by imagine by images of bears, imaginary bears and wolves, and it ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody there. Cortisol, one of the most dangerous chemicals that can be released, is cortisol. This is why I tell you, your body, you were never purposed to be here and to undergo such immense pressure. Physically, mentally, spiritually, cortisol is one of the most dangerous chemicals that can be released. And whenever your body is experiencing an abundance or overload of stress, understand what's going on internally. Understand why your cells, why your body starts to break down, why you begin to self-destruct, why your body now has to fight in overdrive, and we're not paying attention to it. But if you see a gas light on in your car, you'll be quick to run to the gas station. What about the lights and the signals that's going on in your body? What about your signal when your heart is saying, hey, I need some attention over here. Hey, I need some affection. I need some love. Something going on. Something is irregular. What about when your mind light goes on and it says, hey, some type of dysfunction is going on. Okay, we're receiving too much cortisol. Something needs to change. Hello. What about when your spirit says, hey, there's something going on inside here. Something ain't right. We ignore the signals internally, right? And that's what matters the most. Do you matter or don't you? Where are you on your priority list? Where are you on your priority list? Because most of y'all are at number 10 when you should be at zero. Numero uno. Where are you on your priority list? Some of us spend more time on social media than we do sitting with ourselves. Yes, would it be uncomfortable at first? Absolutely. We do it. Are y'all paying attention? This is just the sweetest reminder I can give you to start paying attention. Just look at what we're doing. Every moment, every moment of some of our waking, rising days are on social media. We're bathing in we're bathing while we're alive. We're eating while we're alive. We're disciplining our children while we're alive. We're engaging with our children while we're alive. We're at functions while we're alive. We're tending to our bodies, and it's nothing unhealthy about doing that sometimes. But when do you actually enjoy a meal for yourself, just embracing and enjoying the moment, the present? When do you actually love on whomever you're loving on in the moment, without the cameras, without the live, without the likes, without the validation? When do you enjoy rising, just enjoying the breath that you're able to take, enjoying, embracing nature, every beautiful moment. It's like you remove yourself out of such a blissful moment to say, let me catch it on camera. Let me record this. Let me record this. And the next thing you know, your whole life is being lived out in the matrix. We're not enjoying anymore. We're not communicating spiritually in a healthy manner anymore. We're not regulating our emotions. It's like with AI, it's like with cyborgs. AIs now can display emotions, right? It's just an Autobot thing. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm miserable. It's just auto program. Like, I encourage us to let's get back to us. Get back to you. Like, you're so important. Listen, Lotus, I'm guilty of certain things too. And like I say, whenever I come before you and I teach, those of you who are here, hear me clearly. The messages and teachings that I teach is always for me first, because I am you, you are me, we are we. Just because I know a thing don't mean I don't need to be reminded of a thing. Just because I may be on the 11th floor don't mean that I may just drop down a couple of levels and need a reminder that, hey, you don't belong down here. I am no different to the fact where I'm not above reproach. I'm not excluded from one day dibbling dabbling going downstairs to the basement for whatever reason. For whatever reason. So my messages is never to shame. My teachings are never to shame, never to emasculate, defeminize, is never to crucify. But righteous judgment is a part of our spiritual system, myself included. You understand? But there's a lot of things that, baby, you couldn't pay me to do. You could not pay me to do certain things. When you've experienced the consequences, the level and the severity of the consequences to certain decisions that you make, baby, you stop quick, fast, and in a hurry of repeating them. You're not so easily quick to keep repeating certain actions or behaviors if the consequences that you receive was severe enough, which is why many of us are not learning right now because the consequences aren't as severe enough. Ain't no way in the world you can call a constant repetitive behavior a damn mistake. Like, get your life and make it make sense. Ain't no mistake if you keep doing it. Thank you, Big Head. I appreciate you, my love. Right? Your actions are predicated and dictated by your emotions. Neurotransmitters, your thoughts, your programs. Understand that we have minds within minds, mind within minds. How you associate with the thing is how you're going to not only reflect the thing, but what you're going to attract, how you're going to react and respond to a thing. I'll say that again. Your emotions are predicated upon not only the neurotransmitters and the chemicals, but how you associate with a thing is how you're going to reflect it, and it's how you're going to respond. I'll give an example. We have connections within connections. We have minds within minds, and we have an association with everything. Our mental database is a collection of everything we've learned, whether you realize it or not, whether you remember it or not. So, what are some of these things? What are some of these influences, pardon me, that our mental database, right? Experiences. The autopilot function of the body, right, are generated by your dominant mental programs. It's just like tug of war. This is where you get cognitive, this is where cognitive dissonance also come into play. The stronger will always win. The more powerful will always supersede the weaker, right? And the more profound, the more powerful the neurotransmitter is, the signal, which is your mental database, the more the heart is going to be magnetized on whatever it is. Examples, whatever behaviors you are enacting comes from your mental database, right? The way you speak is an association. You have an association with the way you speak. You have a brain and a mind for the way you speak, no matter what language. You have a program within a program of how you think, the way you react and respond, the way you dress, the way you parent, the way you exchange sexual energy, the way you feel, the way you work, the way you perceive, the way you conduct your hygiene, the way you love, the way you hate, the way you do everything. It has, and these are all associations. A while ago, I did a quick little lesson video, right? I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean by how you associate with something is how you're going to not only act upon that, right? Engage in that, behave in that manner, but it's also how you're going, one of the avenues in which you attract. Okay. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I didn't grow up with a quote unquote silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't come from wealth. I didn't come from old money, right? I grew up in a impoverished neighborhood. I grew up with impoverished minded individuals that surrounded me in my environments. You understand what I'm saying? I grew up around hustlers. I grew up around people who were ignorant to a lot of things. No blame, right? My family didn't have, we were welfare recipients. You understand what I'm saying? I know what it is to be standing on that cheese line. I know what the paper food stamps used to look like. We lived like that. Thrift stores. So I didn't come from an abundance of wealth mentality. I didn't grow up like that. Unbeknownst to me, right? I began to have an association with money with that of lack. Unbeknownst to me, I continually fed that program. Remember, we're talking about programs, right? And so the more I fed that program, the more it became dominant, the more I started to not only reflect and behave like that, but the more I started to attract certain things that would always keep me in with a impoverished mentality, with a broke mentality. So whenever I got money, I lost it just as quick as I got it. It was a repetitive cycle. I get it, I lose it. I get it, I lose it. I did not understand what was going on chemically. I did not understand why I was behaving a certain way. I did not understand the self-mastery principles that I'm teaching you all now. I did not understand that. I did not understand my association with money was that of lack. And what manifested was I didn't feel inwardly, unbeknownst to me, that I deserved money and wealth, that I deserved to have an abundance of money where I can do whatever I wanted to, go wherever I wanted to without trying. Oh, I got to rob Peter to pay Paul, without scavenging. I mean, outside of being disciplined financially, I'm talking about outside of that. Right. And this is what I tell y'all, that you have to understand universal principles because no one is excluded. The universe or God concept did not care that I was ignorant of these knowings. It did not care. It did not care. The universe or God concept only responds to energy. Mwah. Thank you so much, my love. It only responds to frequency. It doesn't, it plays no perspective of age or gender or status. It does not matter. This is why you have some people who attract money easily, who keeps and maintain money easily because they didn't have as many as unhealthy attachments and associations with money. So that's not their dominant struggle. This is why you have a person over here that easily attracts money. Like you see some people, it's like, damn, they always lucky, they always blessed. Money literally just falls in their lap. And then you have people over here, it's like, God damn it, I get it, I lose it. I get it, I lose it. It's like my money bag got a hole in it. Every time I feel it, it's empty. Every time I feel it, it's going like, what's going on? If you did the studies, which I have, indisputable fact, it's because people who do not attract money, because money is energy, and manifest money in an abundance, still have an unhealthy association with money. It's the same thing with love. I'll use myself as an example. I didn't understand what divine self-full love was. I only understood it based upon what I was taught what love was. Because I was being cursed out. At the same time, I was being told, I love you though. I was being hit at the same time. I was told, but I love you though. Right? I was being verbally abused at the same time. I was told, I love you though. You understand? And then you start associating love with toxicity, unhealthy. So you begin to think that this is love. Because every time you seen your father or your mother get abused, the abuser was saying, "I did it because I love you." So now that child grew up with with an unhealthy association with love. Now that child thinks that whenever somebody goes upside another person's head, it's like, oh, they only did it because they love. You have to understand the associations that you have. Your behaviors are predicated upon all of these things. Hence, this is why you do what you do. This is why so many of y'all think it's so cute, it's so healthy, it's so productive to be engaged in so many unhealthy conversations here on these TikTok streets talking about you just want to give your point of view. You don't even know what the addiction is. I can tell you what though, whether you know it or not. I can tell you if you're not evolving. I can tell you if you're not expanding as a living, breathing organism, which is your primary function is to expand and evolve. I can tell you what you are doing the more you continually do certain things like that. You are self-destructing, baby. Self-destructing. Like it, love it, leave it, do it as you will. If you're not elevating and expanding, you're self-destructing. I appreciate all of you who are tapping the screen, who are sending, I see the messages. I appreciate all of you. Infinite gratitude. I'm paying attention. I see you. I love you for being here and exchanging your energy. I appreciate you for elevating, for wanting to get the information. Right? Because the more of us who engage, the more of us that elevate, not only can we change our lives, the trajectory of our lives, we can start to help this planet heal. We can start to work with nature, to work with the cosmos, to bring harmony back to not only the people, but this atmosphere. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Infinite love and divine light, always. Right? When was the last time you asked yourself, why do you do the things you do? I teach 7 keys of elevation, of self mastery, awareness, acknowledgement, acceptance, accountability, assess, acquire, and then act. Right? Some of the reasons why we suppress or ignore our past experiences, past traumas, past dominant emotions, right? Memories, right? Ego plays a part, fear plays a part, habitual habits. Your habits create your habitat. Habits create a part. We're just in denial. Some of us are in denial. Some of us just want to be ignorant, willfully ignorant. Some of us are extremely selfish, transparently, respectfully. Some of us are just simply cowards. Some of us are just simply cowardice. Some of us are experiencing so much internal and external pain. Some of us are just lazy, right? Free will, your choice. You have a choice. Every decision you make, every decision you make is like a pebble thrown in a pond. There will be ripples. The severity of your decisions will determine the impact of the ripples. And some of y'all are making decisions, and it's like not you pass throwing pebbles in the pond. You're throwing boulders in the pond, and then wondering why you drowning. wondering why you gasping for air, wondering why you can't stay afloat, wondering why you just keep, right? It don't have to be like that. Zaza, how are you, my love? Ashe, how are you, my love? Right? Y'all know what the prolonged side effects of chemical imbalances is, emotional imbalances, right? Unhealthy sparks and firing of your neurotransmitters is. This is where every dis-ease comes from a chemical imbalance. Everything, every dis-ease that your mind, body, spirit goes through that is unhealthy for it, harmful for it, is because of chemical imbalances. This is why the pharmaceutical is $1 trillion industry. What do you think is in the medications that they give you? It is the GMO, a synthetic, a knockoff of the same chemicals that your body naturally produces. Understand? Prolonged side effects of you not understanding these things. You keep going on and going on like it ain't nobody business except for yours. You keep minding everybody else's business except for yours, not understanding that PTSD is one of them side effects. Anxiety, stress. And then we hear people talking about, oh, my anxiety, my anxiety. I have anxiety. I have bad anxiety. I can't do this anxiety. I can't do that. Remember, I told y'all language syntax. Some of us are cursing ourselves to the degree of stupidity. And for the love of me, this is why I don't engage. One of the reasons why I just do not engage with many of us. And I love us dearly, but I will not. I choose not to engage. One, I need to protect my energy and my aura and my chi, right? But another reason is like, my goodness. Remember, sometimes I told you that just because I'm on the 11th floor don't mean that I won't take the elevator down to the basement. Some of the things that we say is so foolish. It's foolish. How can you say you're in your right mind? How can you say that you're wisdom? How can you say that you're so intelligent and you speak so foolishly? Right? How? How, Sway? How? Foolishly. You curse, stop cursing yourself. Stop it. Stop cursing yourself. And the more you hang around other people who do these things, guess what? Stop thinking that you can jump in the pool and come out dry. Stop doing that. You become what you consume. It ain't no such thing as you diving head first in the swimming pool and say and expect to be dry. Type of oxymoron-ish is that? Everything affects you. My energy is affecting you now. It's always a transmutation of energy. However, I know that the exchange of energy I'm giving you, baby, positive all the way, high vibration all the way, all the way. Not near one of you, not nobody that I know personally can tell you I talk crazy, I talk foolish in certain things. Now, I may be a little sarcastic and facetious every now and again. Baby, that's a minimum. And many of you I've had engagements with. A lot of you I spoke to offline. I am extremely mindful and intentional. It's crazy, right? Anxiety, stress, addictions. We ain't even gonna talk about mental parasites. We know about addictions, the condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. Also to include people, emotions, chemicals, right? And some of these addictive behaviors, craving, compulsions, codependency, aggression, deceitfulness, destruction, harmfulness, whether you're causing it to yourself or for yourself or to others, incoherence, right? Intention is extremely, hey, hi, love, hi, amiga, how are you, my love? It is incredibly important. You have to understand being intentional, being aware about everything you do can really change the trajectory of your life as well as the lives of your loved ones. Put yourself, reprioritize your priorities. What you say, what you think should be intentional and prioritize. What you say should be intentional and prioritize. What you speak should be intentional and prioritize. Pardon me. If you understood the consequences that come with them, some of you are heading in dangerous territories. Some of you are heading in dangerous territories. Please understand what I'm telling you. Some of you are heading into dangerous territories, and you are not going to like the consequences. Ashe. You will always receive fair and just warnings. You will always receive fair and just reminders. Always. Hi, Regina, how are you? I don't talk to no one. People who are evil. Yeah, you have to be very mindful that yes, the signs are always there. You are always talking to you, your highest self. It's just the noise is so loud. Turn down the noise. Nature is always talking to you, showing you. The universe is always talking to you and showing you various of ways, and there's so many signs, so many signals, so many warnings, so many like, hey, don't do that, don't go there, don't do it, stop this, stop this, stop this, stop that, don't keep doing that. Right? The ancestors, even though some of them don't rock with you because you don't rock with them. So when you reach, don't be the one who reached the completion of their story, this earth story, and be full of regret and be full of, damn, because a lot of us, we hear it all the time. People that are about to transition from this realm, they say it all the time, like, if you could have done anything different, would you have? Would you have chased materialistic things? Would you have not prioritized yourself? Would you have not prioritized family, your loved ones? Would you have not prioritized? Would you have not reassessed how much money actually mean to you? How much your family actually mean to you? How much your own peace of mind and spirit means to you? Would you have done anything different? Very rare that those people will say, oh no, I would have done everything the same. You have an opportunity to change that. Like now you have the opportunity because there's no justifications, rhymes, or reasons as to why. At least start the journey to self mastery. At least take one step at a time. And understand and be aware that you continually repeating these unhealthy behavior patterns is hurting you. It's not only hurting you, it's hurting other people. Everything we do affects us. Stop thinking. Start being more responsible and accountable. Stop thinking that everything you do only affects you. That's not true. Energy affects energy. There's always a transmutation of, there's always a transmittance of energy. There's always a transfer of energy. Everything they do affects us. Everything we do affects them. We affect each other on so many damn levels. Please, for the love of all things pure and righteous, stop being so damn selfish. Stop this. Thank you, my beautiful sis. Thank you, Goddess, for helping me out. Come on now, we can do so many great things together. We can do oopsies, right? I can make a oopsie and still feel and know that I trust you, I love you, that you're gonna be there, that you're not gonna, a knife is not behind your back ready to draw it. Like, come on now. We are doing better. And I applaud and appreciate and give infinite gratitude for those who are choosing to do better every day. How you associate with the thing is how you reflect and react to it. We spoke about this. Everything has an association. You have an association to everything, the food you eat, the money, how you associate with sex, how you associate with culture, spirituality, work ethic, colors, nature, TV programs, people, relationships, religion, environment, health, spirituality, music, the way you dance, the way you dress, the way you sing, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you do everything. It's all because of a learned association. Revisit why you do the things you do, especially if it's not serving your higher you, not your lower you. You didn't come here to thrive in your lower you. You came here to not only obtain information and give it back to the oneness as a collective so the collective can expand. We are a part of infinite. We are infinite. Not only did you come to do that, but you damn sure did not come to live in your lower nature. You have a responsibility. You have responsibilities. Let's start being accountable for them. It's not all about you, even though it is about you. Even though it is about you, right? Remember, duality, polarity, there is no one without the other, right? It's about harmonizing these things. It's not about dismissing or dissolving much of anything. It's about harmonizing, right? That's all. You are light and dark. You are positive and negative. I'm speaking about energy. You are masculine and feminine, right? Both. It's just a harmony, right? And this is what self mastery does. I teach you how to harmonize you and your entire triune effort, essence, right? What you feed will gain power, and what you starve will lose its power, knowingly or unknowingly, right? Start paying attention to your daily routine. When you rise and when you rest, right? And so even though this comes from one of my master lessons, which which is pretty lengthy. Let me remove this. Hang on a second. I'm not gonna because my time is up. I'm doing the best I can to stick to an hour. So give me 1 second, TikTok, and I'm gonna be there to answer your questions. So Once again, thank you so much for you, for your time, for your energy, for your effort. This is All Things Self Mastery. You can, and I am now streaming on your favorite podcast, Spotify and Apple, at All Things Self Mastery. So now you can listen to self mastery courses. There's several classes that I have uploaded already. Please do subscribe, help support, so you can subscribe at All Things Self Mastery podcast. Even if you don't listen to it, just support your girl. Also, make sure you click that subscribe button on my YT channel. Like I said, we help us. When we grow, right? And so that would do me just. And it helps me to expand my reach to many other men and women. With that being said, I hope that you enjoy the lesson, speaking about getting to the depth and the core of emotions and addictions. Until next time. Mwah. Okay.